like that. Make a little adjustment over
Your
here.
show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Is that thing a little lopsided? All right. Come on, cursor. Stop playing with me.
Since it appears you're calling back
Stop
into a
playing
live
with
show,
me.
we are reconnecting
It's the
you
Daily
now.
Go Get Mism Show. Daily Go Get Mism Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. Fast lanes, no coasting. Glad to be here. Yeah, middle of the year. Actually, middle of the week, and we speak about the things that we think that we can tweak in society. We talk about paying our debt, and we're about to get it about as fly as we can get it. Yo, your debt to society. What is your debt to society? What does that mean? Debt to society, what does it mean? People always say, what the... All right. Now, when we normally think about somebody paying a debt to society, we're normally talking about criminals who have gone to jail. When you have maxed out or served your prison sentence, we say that you have served or paid your debt to society. You ever think about that, though? What does that mean? Like, if you commit a crime and you go to jail, you get convicted of a crime and you go to jail, have you paid your debt to society? A debt is something that you have either taken, stolen, or borrowed from. So you have to pay it back. A debt is paying back what you owe. So when we think about it in those terms, we probably have to think a little deeper about what society is, what the debt to society is, and what we have taken away. Well, can we give back? Right now, I'm not going to give you no slack. We're going to have to put our thinking caps on. We're going to do this thing. Yeah, you know that I'm going to warn y'all that your brain is going to hurt a little bit after. We're going to make sure that we take this thing from the floor to the rafters. And I know that y'all going to participate because I know how to Daily Go Get It business is. We don't hate. Daily Go Get It business show, baby. Your debt to society. What does that mean? Let's open up our brains a little bit. Your debt to society, what does that mean? Have you ever really thought about it? Your son came home, your cousin came home, your uncle came home, your father came home, your anybody, your man came home. They did time. They did time in the state pen. They did time in the feds. They paid their debt to society. They don't owe society anymore. What do you mean? What did they owe society in the first place? Are criminals, or should criminals be the only ones that are seen as owing a debt to society? What is society? Let's break that down. What is society? Well, I say we go straight to the Webster's. Let's go straight to the Webster's. What does society mean?
According to Wikipedia.org, a society is a group of individuals.
Definition. And I'm willing to bet that that's a definition that we haven't really talked about before, thought about before, or probably even cared about. Have you ever thought about that? Your debt to society. Society. I'll repeat that definition. Now, this definition is by Wikipedia. Let's keep that in mind. Y'all know Wikipedia is a little subject to payola. It sounds like Wikipedia and sites like that. Sites like Google and Bing and Yahoo and all of those search engine sites sounds like they may owe a debt to society. All right. A society is a group of individuals involved in a persistent social interaction, or a large social group sharing the same spatial or social territory, typically subject to the same political authority and dominant cultural expectations. And I agree with this definition. So basically, what we're talking about as far as society is concerned, we're talking about the people who live around the way in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. A dope boy is a person in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. Poppy stores are people in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. A policeman is a person in your neighborhood. The people that you see each day. Society. A bunch of individuals who are under the same political same political guidance. So that means it's me and it's you and everybody else. So what do we owe each other? What do we owe each other? Not individually, but individually we have to talk about or think about what our contribution to society may be. Now we talk often about what our contribution to society might be. Well, like we talk about giving back. Many times when we talk about giving back, we never even finish the sentence. We just say, we want to make sure that we give back. Give back to what? Give back to who? And what have we taken away from them? So, you can look at it in this metaphorical sense, or you can think about it in this literal sense. In this literal sense, you probably haven't taken anything away from society. As a matter of fact, you probably pay your debt to society through your taxes every day. But what if you don't pay your taxes? What if you are a welfare recipient or are on disability or SSI or SSD or something like that, where you don't pay any taxes? Would you or should you be expected to pay back all of the taxes that you didn't have to pay when you were either sick or hurt or poor? When you get money, if you used to be on welfare, when you get on your feet or if you strike it rich, should you have to go back and give money or give educational or financial opportunities to the state, to the people who you lived around? Because there is an argument that if you don't pay your taxes like everybody else does, then everybody else is paying the taxes for you. Now, I don't want to sound like a Republican up here, but if we just look at this in the context of what taking from, stealing from, borrowing from any one or number of peoples are, then we might come up with different answers as far as what our notion of what debt, borrowing, taking from, stealing from might be. We have all given something to society, and we probably have all taken something away from society. But what is it? What is it? Why have we been thinking so linear? Why have we been exercising our linear thinking when it comes to debts to society, and only thinking about criminals who have either served their sentence or who are serving their sentence? I paid my debt to society. So have you sold drugs or committed any crime? Let's just say that. Committed any crime. Let's take violent crime for a second. Let's take violent crime. If you commit a violent crime, you get caught, you get prosecuted, you serve time in the state pen. Is it society who you owe? Because I'm sure that person's family who you committed the violent crime against, especially if it was murder, I'm sure they have a different definition of who you owe and what you owe, and probably how you should pay back. Is that society? Is society the individual or group of individuals? Well, according to this definition, it's a group of individuals. But you have not taken away from the group of individuals. When it comes to criminal activity, you know how they say it doesn't really affect you until it hits home. And it can hit home in a variety of ways. As soon as you turn on your TV, you turn to that news channel and you hear about this person getting killed, murdered, hurt, shot, stabbed, punched in the face, or these group of individuals all getting sick because of this brand or this food or this restaurant or this inappropriate action by this company. See, as long as we don't know about these things, it doesn't affect us. But it affects us as soon as we see it, as soon as we hear about it, as soon as it affects our senses, we know about it. But before then, we don't know about it. You know how many people are in jail right now? I bet you don't even know 1/100th of the people who are in jail. Even if you work in jail, you don't know that many of them. There are millions of people in jail. It's crazy. But yeah, in the United States alone, there are millions of people in jail. We are a lockup society. We be getting it in. And each one of those criminals are worth a dollar amount to either the state or the feds, privatized prisons and things like that. I'm not going to get into whether that's right or wrong, but how much money do you make when Man got locked up? I'm going to give you a hint. 0. You get a goose egg. You get a goose egg for how many days Man spends in jail. But I tell you who does make money. The state of whatever state Man committed that crime. They eat off of that. It's federal funding, state funding. Those criminals are worth money, especially if they are in a privatized prison. So we talking about your debt to society because of a crime. We talking about Man paid his debt to society. You ain't get a dime, but the state did every single day. So we talk about how little they pay Man to make license plates or perform whatever job that he does in prison. You don't benefit from that, but the state does, and that's why they have to pay Man. They can pay him a little bit of money because he's a criminal. So by law they can't demote him to non-citizen status, because if it was non-citizen status, then you do not have the right to profit off of man's labor. You see how this works? It's different. That's also the reason why when black people were slaves, that's why they didn't demote them to non-citizen status. 3/5 of a man, yes. 3/5 of a man, yes, but not a non-citizen and not an animal. Because if you were an animal, then by law, they could not profit off of your labor. Yes, yeah, I mean. So I hope y'all still following me here, because I want to get into this. Even though I came on the show late, we're going to try to make up the time as much as possible. And we're going to get into this head trip right here, talking about debt to society. Peace to T. Carey Wright, Carol Chamberlain, and my brother from another mother, Norris Hill and Emily Dunlap. Thanks for coming on. Thrills. Norris Hill says, if I paid into SSA, no, I'm not paying taxes. Social Security Administration. That's right. If that's it, and Norris says, if that's my only source of income, word up. TK Wright, thank you so much for that super sticker. Oh, that's the super chat. Ooh. She says, elected officials owe a debt to society. Elected officials. You ain't never done lied. Actually, you kind of hit the nail on the head, because elected officials do nothing but move the money around in society. Their job is to manage money. Each and every politician's job is to move around money. If you didn't know that, you should know that. Because the propaganda tells us that it's all about the people and making society work, improving communities, improving our educational system, making sure that the people in our world have the things that they need. Freedom and democracy in the United States of America. And that is not what politicians are here for, and that's not what they do. Politics themselves are all about money. And if you don't understand that and you don't believe that, let me make it a little bit more clear. Let me make it a little bit more clear. If you don't believe that politics is about money, go to your most local and most accessible politician and ask them to do something for you. And watch what the excuse is if they can't do it. I challenge you to do that. I don't care if you only go as low as your neighborhood committee person. Go to them and ask them for a political favor on any level. Ask them about trash pickup. Ask them about scholarships. Ask them about getting your children to be able to go to a school outside of their neighborhood. If the answer is no, watch what the reason becomes. 100% of the time, it will be because of money. The taxes in this neighborhood, let's say if you wanted your child to go to an elementary school outside of your district or outside of your neighborhood, they would tell you. If the answer is no, they would tell you the people who live in the neighborhood that you want your child to go to school do not want other children from that neighborhood, from outside of that neighborhood going to that school, because their tax dollars pay for the educational system and all of the products. The word I'm looking for is like they pay for the books, they pay for the instruments, they pay for the activities. Their tax money pays for that. So for you to send your child there and you're not contributing, your tax dollars are not contributing to that neighborhood, that county, that district, it's like, no. That's why we can't allow your child to go here. Yes, they have the aptitude. They're smart enough. It's not a question. But they're going to have to be smart enough in your neighborhood school. Let your tax dollars improve your neighborhood schools so that people will want to come from outside of your neighborhood and go to your neighborhood schools. But you can't go to ours. We ain't having it. So yeah, politics is about money. So T. Carey Wright saying that elected officials owe a debt to society. They do. Because they directly affect the financial stability and structure of each neighborhood, each district, each ward. each county, each state, they directly are in charge of the money. So money goes or is taken away from each one of those areas where that politician works. So they owe a debt. They have a debt. And that's why they are called public servants. You ever notice that? Public servants. But public servants kind of connotes that they are there to serve the community. Like they work there. Well, they do get paid. So that might be correct. But what do they owe? They might owe something because they have probably taken something away from that society. They may have borrowed. Many politicians steal. They be stealing, son. Them politicians stealing. And they say all politicians steal. I'm not going to put that on all politicians right now. Not right now. Not right now. You know, we can do that at other times, son. You know what I mean? But you can best believe they be taking what they can. Thanks for the other super chat, T. Carey, right? She says it's all about them making sure we're mentally comfortable so that we keep the money flowing in our cities. Ooh. Deep. And I totally agree. I totally agree. Carol Chamberlain, she says, NARS is a common misunderstanding. NARS is a common misunderstood ideology that when you receive Social Security, you no longer pay taxes. Unfortunately, it's not so. NARS says, hey, Carol, so if one files, they may owe. Is that what you're suggesting? Well, there are two ways. Well, there are multiple ways that you can avoid paying taxes. If you are receiving unemployment benefits, you don't have to pay taxes. Now you have the option to pay taxes. And many people who are collecting unemployment benefits think that they're going to get in trouble for not paying taxes when they receive their unemployment benefits. You better think again. You have to consider, should I say, that your unemployment benefits are already taxed, number one. So if you allow them to take taxes from your unemployment benefits, they're actually taxing twice. That's one thing. The other thing is that you're only receiving 60% of the pay that you were making when you were working actively. So why would you tax that further? And of course, a big incentive for you looking for a job actively is the fact that you're only receiving 60% of the pay that you would have had when you were working. That's a big reduction in pay and income for you. So the feeling behind it is that you'll get up off your ass and go get a job real quick, so they can get you off of this unemployment that you paid into every week that you were working. You know, there are people who have never received unemployment benefits and have worked double-digit years on jobs. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years on a job. Peace to my man, Sean. My man, Sean, put up a post yesterday I think he said 23 years on the job, and he never took a sick day. And I was like, 23 years and never took a sick day? Was it because you were never sick? I know for a fact that that's not the case. I'm also amazed at the things that people are proud of. If you can cash in those days for money, I wouldn't take sick days either. But if those sick days don't roll over and they're not able to be cashed in, I don't know. But my point is that there are many people who pay into the unemployment system who never take advantage of it. So when it's your time to collect unemployment, you shouldn't have no problem getting it. And I think that you should make more than 60%, but that's the way it's set up. Carol Chamberlain, to answer Norris's question, she says, Norris, I have taxes taken out of my Social Security so that when I file, I don't owe anything. And more than likely, I get a refund or the taxes paid. Refund of the taxes paid. Norris says, I remember getting unemployment. It was not a joyful time. I hated it. The last time I received unemployment benefits was 2018. Man, that shit sucks. The first time I received unemployment benefits was 2012. Man, that shit sucked. That blew. But at least it was Jersey unemployment. Jersey unemployment is definitely chunkier than Pennsylvania unemployment. Pennsylvania unemployment, boo. Jersey unemployment, yeah. Pennsylvania, boo. Jersey, yeah. That's the only time I think Jersey is better than Pennsylvania unemployment. Yeah. Woohoo! Jersey. Good Lord. Debt to society. What is your debt to society? You sold drug. You sold ass. You stole. You extorted. You racketeered. Honestly, yeah, criminals do owe a debt to society, but I think that they owe the person that they actually affected directly even more. The number man around the way, he owes. The crazy part about it is a lot of people who are part of the racketeering or marketing aspect of crime or criminal activity, they do pay back. Think about it. They give back. I've seen drug dealers now, not all of them now, but I've seen drug dealers throw neighborhood cookouts, block parties, give away turkeys, toy drives, all kinds of stuff. Many of them did it so people wouldn't look at their criminal activity in such a negative way that they would keep the cops on them all the time. But the bottom line is that they did give back. That's the bottom line. They gave back. They understood the assignment and they went through and completed it. Do you know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean. So, how do you handle your debt to society? Your debt to society. What have you given? What have you taken away from your side from society that you can think of. Personally, I think that if you have received something that you could not have gotten on your own, that the world has provided for you, I think that you should probably give back. I mean, a lot of us talk about giving back, and we haven't taken a damn thing. A lot of us. So you talk about, like, I think that if you went to a good school, and you learned well from that school, and you went out into the world and did big things, were able to generate a good income, and were able to be able to financially provide for yourself to the point where you could share either your financial gain or your techniques for learning, techniques for teaching, techniques for gaining, earning. I think that whether you look at it as a debt or not, your school, you know how alumni associations are. They always expect you to come back and give back something. You went to this school. You got things from this school. You learned from this school. You should come back and help your alumni, brothers and sisters. Come back and show the youth what they can be if they do what you did, or if they get what you got. You could be a keynote speaker. You know, you can be the honored guest. You can receive awards. All you have to do is come back and talk to them. Get in their ear, answer some questions. Talk about what happened to you. Talk about how this school benefited you. You know that school alumni associations always are bugging you to come back and give back, especially if they find out that you've gone on and done some good things. Come back, give back from where you took from. You ain't take from none of those schools. They got paid for educating you. They got paid for putting up with you. You contributed to that school if you did really well, because you raised their level of academic standing in the community, their educational rank. Still, there's give and take. So I understand what they mean by come and give back. Please give back. If you really, really owed it, they wouldn't ask you to please. It would be an obligation. Like, you gotta do it. Shoot, as soon as I got out of Penn State, they were like, yo, got a set of envelopes for you. I was like, yo, y'all didn't even give me my degree. Yeah, we know you owe a couple of dollars, but we know you got that money. You might make us wait, but in the meantime, here, take these envelopes, fill them, and get back to your alma mater. When you get that cake up and you get your physical degree and all of that, that's cool. We're gonna send you a bill for that. But other than that, donate. And remember, we are Penn State. We are Penn. Real trap. Your debt to society. What is your debt to society? What is your debt to society? Now I'm asking y'all directly, outright. What is your debt to society? What would you consider your debt to society to be? You're not criminals. You're not in jail. You never served time. So in the context of what we're talking about, what the debt to society would be by what you have taken away from, borrowed from, stolen from, God forbid, from your neighborhood, from your community, from society, from your peoples, what would be your contribution to society? Many of y'all, I'll bet, have been contributing even if you don't know. Many of you have helped people individually, in a group, doing stuff, contributing to society, being a community activist. We throw around that term a lot. The news definitely throws around that term a lot, especially when a community activist gets hurt or killed. They'll talk about what he or she did. He organized things. He formed groups. He got kids off the streets. He gave them something to do. Sports teams, different sports than we normally play in the hood. Golf, tennis clubs, ice skating, figure skating. He opened up, or she opened up their cultural minds, exposed them to different cultural activities, allowed them to expand themselves, to think in different ways, and to be able to do different things than what they were probably projected to do had they not had the influence and the guidance of this community activist. So I'm sure that many of you have done that in your own personal lives. I'm sure that you have given to somebody. You've helped a group of people. I don't know. It could have been anything. Helped a bunch of kids with their homework. Remember the homework hotline back in the day? Remember? Homework hotline. It was kind of a good thing. And I say kind of a good thing because it's kind of hard for somebody to help you with your math homework when they're not standing in front of you. But they did their best. But you wasn't going to be able to tie them up for hours on the phone, that's for sure. Somebody had to pay for that. The homework hotline wasn't for free. That wasn't people volunteering. Speaking of volunteering, people volunteer. That's a really, really good way to give back to your community. But did you give back to your community because you owed? Were you paying a debt? With ex-convicts, they make them do community outreach and community work, whether it's being in sort of like a chain gang thing, picking up. Do y'all know anybody who has ever been sentenced to like pick up trash along the highway? DUI convicts go through that a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly the Lord's work. Doing the Lord's work. Paying debt to society. Look, I'm paying my debt to society and doing the Lord's work at the same time. Speaking of doing the Lord's work and paying your debt to society, local businesses and especially churches take a lot of money out of the neighborhood. I'm not trying to diss no churches or no local businesses, but how can you deny that churches who do not have to pay federal taxes at all, how can you deny that they are taking money directly from the community without having to pay back any of it, without having to open their books to the federal government and the IRS? Their business is their business. Their business is their business. That's what the church is. They don't have to account for that tithing money that they obligate you to pay for. Yo, you doing the Lord's work. You got to give money. You have to tithe. It says it right there in the Bible. You got to tithe 10%. And plenty of people do it. Tithe their money. And their money is not taxable. It goes straight to God. No, it don't. You know it don't. Church building fund. Other community chest. Well, not community chest, but the whatever the church wants to do with the money, they do it. Untouched by the federal government. Untaxed by the federal government. You don't think that they owe a debt to society? You're collecting thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars from your congregation that you do not have to pay any of it back. And you don't think that you owe a debt to society? The local chicken spot, the liquor store, the gun shop, the flower store, the ice cream parlor, restaurants, all of those businesses, local businesses, depend on the public for their well-being. I'm sorry, for their financial well-being. How is it that they don't owe a debt to society? How? And you know what I think is very interesting? And y'all can let me know if it's just me who thinks this. In your neighborhood, we look at all those businesses in our neighborhoods, whether it's a T-Mobile store, Metro PCS, Cricket, a Chinese restaurant, soul food restaurant, hairdresser, beauty salon, barbershops. We look at all of those as local businesses. But in my city, we don't look at the businesses in Center City, which is our downtown. We don't look at those as local businesses. Is it just a mind thing? Is it all mental? Mr. Fu Young, who calls himself John. Yeah, Mr. Fu Young, who calls himself John at Golden Dragon Chinese restaurant, selling Chinese and American food. We look at him as a local business. But Hosai Guy in Chinatown, which is downtown in Center City, we don't look at that as a local business. Carol, Barber Hill Cisse, T. Carey Wright, y'all live in Philly or the Philadelphia area. Is it just me who sort of thinks this way or notices this? What y'all think? How is downtown? How is Del Frisco's not a local business? But Relish, that's closing down, by the way. We lost another one. Relish at 68th, I think it's 68th and Ogons Avenue is closing down. That is a local business. Is it just how we think? Because what's the difference? They both have to pay local taxes. All right. Okay, wait. Make sure I get back with you. Okay. Nar says, I think paying back those student loans is all the giving back I'm offering. Man, listen, I agree that that's giving back. Woo. And is it a debt to society? I'm taking it. Norris also says mentorship is a great way to give back. I agree. Carol Chamberlain says, didn't know anyone, but I've seen it driving down south. Oh, you talking about picking up? Yeah, shoot, the South, they be, I think they still got chain gangs. Yeah, I mean, the South is dirty. They don't call it the dirty South for nothing. Narcil says, community service. Glad I haven't had to do that, me either. We be like, community service, you mean my parole? I paid that. You ain't violating me. I'll go anywhere y'all want me to go except for upstate. Carol says the so-called separation of church and
90
state.
seconds.
The so-called separation of church and state. That's what they call it. I think that the churches owe a debt to society. Barbara Hill Cisse says, I'm on the advisory board for an organization in my neighborhood and was asked to join the board of directors for Tioga United Neighborhood Action Committee in the app process. Cool.
60 seconds.
So what do y'all do? Are you able to steal any money? Just asking. Carol says, no, you notice it too? Yeah, we don't look at those as local businesses. Y'all exempt from being a local business? People live downtown. You affect their neighborhood. They pay rent, just like you pay rent in whatever building that you occupy. Barbara Hill Cisse says, I see them all as local businesses, but within 3 blocks, neighborhood business. Okay. Carol Chamberlain says, churches are like the biggest ripoffs, make money hand over fist, but no taxes
10
paid.
seconds.
No taxes paid and no obligation to give back anything. Now, listen, man, I don't have nothing against no church. And I don't have anything against people who go to church, frequent church, love church. You know what I mean? Church. If that's your thing, if that's your pathway to salvation, I don't have no problem with it. It's a lot better than you going to some. I would rather you be in the church gang or the Lord gang or God gang than for you to be a Blood Crips, Vice Lord, Latin King. I would rather you definitely be in church, throwing your money that way, than being than you being a Hell's Angel or pagan. Even Wheels of Soul, you know what I mean? Like, I don't listen. But speaking of those local gangs, street gangs, whether they have been convicted of crimes or not, you don't think that they owe a debt to society? You know, I'm going to go out on a limb with this. But the gang culture are terrorists. They cause terror. They make people afraid to go outside and feel comfortable and enjoy themselves. You don't know if you're going to get caught in a crossfire or if they're going to directly target you. You don't know. Regardless of what their goals used to be when they first started up the Bloods and Crips, all of that stuff is falling by the wayside, and they're all involved in violent criminal activity. They are never just killing each other, hurting each other, shooting each other. It's never secularized and closed in. It's never just a members only thing. They spread the ball around way too far. And I ain't never heard of the Bloods and Crips throwing a toy drive, a food drive, a can sale, god damn it. I want to just see that one time. The Rolling 60s Crips. The Rolling 60s Crips are holding a can drive. Can sale. Come and get your peas. Come and get your green beans, your canned candied yams. Come and get some cream corn on us. Can sale. Campbell's soup. Ravioli, beefaroni, alphabet, chunky. We giving back. As we eat, we gonna keep y'all eating. Nobody's gonna go hungry with the Rolling 60s. We crip walking. We out here crip walking and giving away food. Hey, make sure Miss Tina gets some of that the cream corn and the kernel corn. Golden kernel corn, golden kernel corn, golden kernel corn, golden kernel corn. Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Surely, the most precious and greatest pearl in the world. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that those local criminals, inmates, prison inmates, I don't know if they're paying their debt to society or not. I don't feel what they're paying back. But out here in the streets, that's where I see where somebody is taken away and I see where somebody needs to give back. That's what I'm talking about. Shirley Cheryl says, way back when I was in a truck club, we fed the homeless and cleaned up blocks. Yeah. And it's funny because truck clubs, car clubs and stuff, they bout that life. Yeah, we're going to be up at the Platte. We're going to be up at the Platte, this Saturday, this Sunday. Rather do it like on a Saturday because it's not as many people as there would be on a Sunday. So yeah, we're gonna be up there, man. We cooking out. You ain't gotta bring no money. Bring the kids or whatever. We got the music. We got the DJ truck club up in this thing. You know what I'm saying? We doing it. Yeah, they are giving back in their own way. They do that. But I don't see no Bloods or Crips doing that shit. For obvious reasons, they don't want to bring light or unnecessary attention to their criminal activity or to their players. But what difference does it make? Because every time you turn around, they repping they set. How you think they get caught all the damn time? They busy repping they set. They repping they set. Whether you pay it or not, whether you recognize it or not, whether you have been served or not, more than likely you have a debt to society that's outstanding. But we all owe a debt to society on some level to somebody. We all owe a little bit. We don't all owe a lot, but we all owe a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. We got to get back a little bit. You get back a little bit. I get back a little bit. We all going to get back a little bit. Let's do these birthday shouts. Birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious January 25th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Terry Yancey. Happy birthday to you, Terry. And also Tasha Campbell, turning 39 years old today. And my girl, go get her. Imani Richardson, my girl Imani Richardson. And Yvonne Downey. Yvonne Downey, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, my girl Katrina Venny. Happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all y'all. And anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious January 25th. I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen, your debt to society goes way deeper than whether you committed a crime, was convicted of a crime, and did time, and got out from doing the crime. Your debt to society goes much deeper. You might be out here taking, or you a keeper. Keepers, weepers, jeepers, creepers. We're going to make sure we don't sleep. You owe a little something. It might not be no money, but give something back to the community you took from. And don't act like looking at me and feeling dumb. You know what you have taken. You know exactly how much money you making. And you know exactly where that was taken from. And I'm not going to act like you was taking dumb money from anybody else out here. But let's make this one intention very clear. You got to give back to some kind of level. You want to be like that. I got to make sure that I keep my motherfucking pockets fat. And whether it's about the money or not, you got to make sure that your mind is clean and your heart is not full of snot. You got you know. Just plaque out your heart, man. Get back a little bit. Your debt to society. You know what I mean? Stop blaming all these criminals for being the one that had to pay debt to society. Let's open up our minds a little bit. Get back a little something. Get back a little something. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night for another Daily Go Get It Business show. So make sure y'all come back through 7 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And we gonna get back and we gonna see something. We gonna make sure that we gonna get something. And I am down with y'all like a submarine or a fish that stays clean. Got the little scales and making sales and making sure that we have more money to bail. Got a wheelbarrow full of cash. Got something that'll put up in your butt. Yeah. All right. It's just a stash. Okay. All right. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Peace.